So I guess I drew the smallest of straws, so that's why I'm speaking to you out of the 5. But I'm here to tell you a little bit about our idea, the gamification of chemistry. But before I do, I'd like to go through 2 kind of, let's say, fun exercises to sort of illustrate this point a little better. So the first exercise is a game. This is called Fake Out. So see if you can determine which of the 3 photos is fake. They're all of me, so you don't know too much about me, but hopefully you will after this. Okay, so the first photo is of me skydiving a couple years ago, and the only thing I could think about while free falling was the style of my hair. The second photo is of me on a beach somewhere in San Diego doing a backflip, and here I did not land on my 2 feet afterwards. So the third one is of me as a pirate for Halloween. So which one do you think is the fake? Okay, so if you guessed C, then you are correct. Now the second exercise is something that we're more used to seeing in a chemical education or in a classroom. So this is a pop quiz. See if you can determine what the product of this reaction would be. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's a free radical reaction. And if you guessed this, then you would be correct, although I couldn't tell you what the name of that molecule is either. Now, what I'm alluding to here is the idea of gamification. So making something useful and making people use it through gamified elements or game mechanics. If we look and compare the Fake Out game and the pop quiz, we'll notice that the Fake Out game had elements of discovery. So every time I showed you a new photo, you saw something new about me. Surprise, you didn't know what I was going to show. Third one is strategy. So you kind of had to look at the pictures to determine which one might be fake. And then also story. So I added just a quick little blurb about each one. The pop quiz and how we traditionally teach chemistry don't have those elements and make chemistry a lot less fun or engaging. I have not always thought of chemistry as fun or exciting myself. In fact, when I was a bachelor student, I started out as a chemical engineering major and changed after 2 years. I saw a lot of equations like this, and I thought to myself, is this what chemistry really is? This did not inspire me or motivate me, and I remember material science had projects in space. It had projects with nanorobots in the body. So those ideas really struck me more, and I ended up changing my major to material science. Fast forward to today, where I'm a Ph.D. student at Maastricht University. I study biomaterials, and more specifically, the organic synthesis of biomaterials. And here, I had one moment that particularly struck me when I was presenting this reaction. Now, my supervisor asked while I was presenting this, Tony, what are the side products to this reaction? And not feeling very comfortable with my chemistry skills, the oxygens and nitrogens and the hydrogens all sort of just came together. And I just thought of only 2 things, and that was, oh no. I wasn't comfortable and I didn't feel prepared with my chemistry knowledge. And I ended up asking one of my colleagues, Shahzad, who we work with on this, what's a good way to brush up on my chemistry? Is there a way that I can learn chemistry really fast? And he said, Tony, I have a great idea for you. And it was this chemistry for dummies. Now, insults aside, I practiced chemistry and I tried to learn as much as I could in that time. So on the weekends, I would do practice homework from big textbooks that were about 300 pages big, and there's not just one textbook, there's many. And practicing, I found out to be quite difficult and harder to do just on my own. Now, the 5 of us were actually on a trip to Prague, and we had sort of the inception or the idea sprung on us while we were in the car. We were playing this game. It's called Exploding Kittens. And I remember saying to them, I wish learning chemistry was as fun as playing this game. And that's sort of where everything started. We started doing some research into this, and we found that gamification is used in a lot of different industries. For example, in social media, when you're tagged in a photo and you like it or you hate it, that's a gamification. Loyalty programs from like Starbucks to get you to buy another one of their products using a reward system, that's also gamification. And then finally, when I practiced my Dutch, I used Duolingo for gamification as well. Now, I'm not the only student who struggles with chemistry. This is actually a problem in a lot of STEM courses where students feel underprepared, they're not as engaged, and there's not e-learning tools available for them to learn on their own. And this actually causes attrition or students to drop out, just like I did. And so we want to try to inspire students and inspire chemistry with gamification. So from that point, we applied for a couple of grants. We ended up getting 10,000 euros from the Swole University Fund and then also from a MERLN Excalibur Fund. And this was just to put together an MVP or a minimum viable product. This would then see how well this could work and sort of validate our idea. And so this is where we're at now. We've created one mini game. This just illustrates the chemical reaction schemes, and so I'll show that to you now. We have big ideas for this, so this is just one part of that, and this is the mini game right here. So this is a reactor mini game. You can select the products and reactants and then see whether or not the reactor gives you a positive or negative outcome. There's elements of gamification, but we want to improve that and add more. But yeah, we've actually given this to students in the organic chemistry course, and they've used it to practice E1, E2, SN1, and SN2 reaction schemes. Some students have even asked us for more to unlock more levels, so that's a good piece of validation right there. Additionally, we want to add scoring and sort of this level activation. So as students progress through hard levels, they can unlock further levels or even levels that go along with their course. Also, avatar and character development would be good to show another style of game mechanics that students might respond positively to. And so this platform can also be used in sort of like a modular way. We're inspired by this gamification of chemistry, but it can also be used in other STEM courses, such as physics or in training videos. And this gamification element is something that we're combining and making modular so we can apply to other platforms. Okay, so our mission is to promote chemical education. We see bigger opportunities, of course, but for right now, we're focusing on Chimera, which is the chemical education. And by using these game-style mechanics, we hope that people can practice. We hope that students and also young professionals can comprehend science and chemistry more, and also apply new chemistry principles to other applications. All right, what we need. At this point, we have a minimal viable product with just 4 reactions. We would like to expand that to include other parts of organic chemistry. That includes acid-base chemistry or nomenclature. And so in order to do that, we really need game developers and game designers. And to get them, we need investment partners. While we have allocated funds for 10,000 euros, it's not enough to really to amplify that. So if you're interested, there's our email addresses. Feel free to email us if you're interested. And in closing, I would like to ask you one question, and that is, what will you remember after this presentation? Is it me as a pirate or as the insane chemical compound here? And I hope that after we have Chimera built, it'll be that insane molecule rather than me. So thank you.
Great. So, Tony, I think new chemistry students will be forever grateful, don't you think?
Yeah, I think I would like to have used it myself. So
Yeah.
I think all these guys too.
So, there's the rest of the team. Welcome Francis, Shahzad, Thomas and Ivo. Welcome on stage. Do you think Tony did a good job? Yeah, he did, didn't he? So let's see if the jury agrees. Cyril, what do you think of this new educational concept? Are you interested?
I'm definitely interested. I think the same goes that I should have had it during my studies, because I struggled quite some heavy times with organic chemistry. But I think you really struck a chord, I think, that is gamification in education is really large at the moment, but everybody is looking for how to do that and how to implement that. And what I see now for what you've done, it's a mini game, but it looks great, and I think it has a great opportunity, especially in times we have now, as probably you know, a lot of the education is done online, and is done online not always that well, let's state it like that. So it can benefit really for what's happening now, and I think the opportunity is great at the moment. So I'd definitely like to discuss it a little bit further with you in all the, let's say, the partnerships we have with educational institutes who struggle with how to implement online education. I think this is a great tool. Great idea.
Yeah. Great promise for you there, guys. Yeah. Damien, is this a recognizable problem for you? You were once a student.
Yes, yes,
chemistry. You still are. Of course, lifelong learning.
Yes, I think it's a great topic. I think learning we're always looking for new ways. Experience is always the best way to learn. So to have multiple sensory experiences, it's how you remember things. And it kind of triggered all kinds of ideas when I was going through it. Are you considering, say, for example, augmented reality? Are you looking into machine learning to adapt to the student? Are you looking into maybe haptics, right? So feelings. So you learn something, you get something, a trigger on your arm or something like that. I think these are great things to look into and to really experience and push that. And then you could apply it obviously to chemistry, math, physics, whatever you like. But really to immerse yourself, I think, is the best thing ever. And I think the last thing that I've learned through this whole COVID experience is that interaction is the biggest thing I miss, is talking to people. So I think you're going to have to create some kind of bond with other students, because that's what makes great universities great, is the fact that they gather great people together. And I think you should be thinking about that. But great idea. Look into NCSoft. They're really, really, really interested in this topic.
Okay. Well, great suggestions. Thank you, Damien. Wouter, something to add from an entrepreneurial point of view?
Hopefully. Guys, who do you want to sell this to? What does your customer look like?
No.
So basically what we're thinking now is making it subscription-based for university. So for example, use Maastricht University as our, hopefully as for example, a launching customer, and make it subscription-based, and let people customize it or tailor it towards the courses they teach. So for example, they can unlock the levels corresponding to week 1 of the teaching and then week 2. And that is, how we think the subscription would be looking.
I can see
so
that.
So it's a license-based.
Word of advice, your customers don't have money. They're all piss poor. So also think about selling this to industry for if they want to brush up the knowledge of their employees or something.
Yes.
They have money.
Yes, we definitely are also thinking next to universities, but since we're at Maastricht University, that's
of course,
the first
you give them
guide.
the first right.
But for example, maybe companies at Brightlands, if they want to give training and they hire new employees and they are not that familiar in the field, they can use it to teach the topic they desire and use it to get them up to speed quickly, for example.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Wouter is addressing money. the online audience is addressing conservative teachers. And how will you convince them to use gamification in education? And besides that, it's said my 15-year-old already loves it. So that's that's a way to go. But can you answer that? How do you handle conservative teachers?
Yeah, I think in most of even my conservative teachers, we played games. Games are just a great way to get students on board. I remember we played silly games, like I don't know if they have them here, but it's like Heads Up, 7-Up. And we would play these and they would get the kids' attention and everyone would start to focus because we kind of got all of our like energy out. And I think maybe if you use it as a way to sort of like, you know, dissipate energy or also like just kind of like redirect their energy into something. If you start to see like your students are maybe not paying attention, you can say, okay, we're gonna have 5 minutes, you know, get the best score. Best score possible. So I don't know if we've really touched on that, but yeah.
Okay.
To add to that, luckily not all teachers are conservative.
No.
There are a lot of them who are looking for new ways, new opportunities to have, let's say, a mixture of online education, physical education, making the connection. And I think you should look for those teachers, and with that we can help you definitely finding the right people, because also in education there's money. If you have a good product, there's money.
That's kind of a promise too, I hear. Another question. Do you think this will teach people or will they be guessing? Does the game explain the correct answer too?
So we try to make it in a way that it is, of course, a game. But for example, if somebody makes a mistake, we want to implement, for example, a hint button where they can get feedback on if they get an incorrect answer. Also, after every question and it's incorrect, does it switch? The questions switch again, so you can't keep guessing all over again. And what we're also thinking is at the start of, let's say, every topic that there is a small explanation of the principle, so they can always go back to that to see if they can learn more about, maybe they can figure it out for themselves what they did wrong.
Okay, thank you. And last but not least, do you have a business model to realize it as soon as possible? Also very useful, and that's another target group, maybe the parents at home, to introduce chemistry at an early age. Is there a business model already waiting?
Yeah, so I think Ivo kind of hinted at this. We were trying to pitch it to universities as a way for, during this COVID situation, how to get positive feedback or even feedback in general on how students are doing in their class. Because essentially, you're just giving students like these lectures online and there's no way to really test them as you're going. And homework tends to be graded later. This will give really quick feedback to teachers. And so I think we've been trying to sell it to like a university. But there's also subscription models like Duolingo, which operates on a freemium model, and they actually have just ads. And just through advertising, they can offer a free service and then offer a premium for a higher subscription. So I think using those as models.
Okay, but you're looking for investors. That was one of your questions. How many do you need? How much money do you need before you can launch the app? Can you share that? Oh, now that's a CFO.
At the moment, we have one app that we built up with modularity in mind. So, for example, like Ivo told you, like Tony told you, we're focusing on universities right now. But we also want to focus on businesses, like you said, with the call center app you've seen in the presentation. Yeah. And to get to that point where we have like the whole platform that we need for modularity and it's actually set up right and we have enough code to actually sell a product that we feel content with, we need around 150,000 euros because you have to think about the cloud services that we have to pay for, designers and also more programmers because at the moment I'm the only programmer in the team and it's just too much to get this done in 1 year and in the coming year. So.
Yeah. Okay,
I
great.
hope that answers that question.
That was a pitch in a pitch, I think. So thank you, great job. You did really a great job. Thank you all. So before we end up this pitch, we have to check the poll.
Yes.
Yeah. So what does the audience? How does they? Whoa, feasibility 60, breakthrough 30, and talent 10.
Wow.
The breakthrough here, it's the first one who scores very well too. So okay, take it away. Thank you.
Thank
Big
you.
hand for
Big
those
hand.
5.